here, objects. Whenever I load an object, like a cube, into the world, it shows up with its name right over here. The other thing that's important is that all of its attributes and qualities show up in the box below. And look, that box is called attributes. All right? Now, what's cool about that is I can change the size of it in the window right there. So that is now a cube that is 10 meters by 200 meters by 200 meters. Do you know how big a meter is? Yeah, something like that. But you know what? Why? We're not European. We're American. So let's go over here to File, File, Edit, Preferences. And we're going to go to Units, which is right here under Preferences. And we're going to say inches, which makes sense. We're going to build things in inches. What?
It doesn't to me, but I have to.
Okay. You don't have to.
It's not that part of the world.
You want to use meters or centimeters? No, you can do it.
Sorry,
yeah, you can do it on yours. The point is that you can put it to whatever makes sense to you. That's my point. I like inches, so we're putting it in inches for me. All right, so there it is. It's 10 inches by 200 inches by 200 inches. I can go turn this back to 100, etc. I can change how many. There are no segments in here. Let's make it 10 and 10 and 10. I can do all that stuff, right? And also, by the way, I can turn a fillet. I can make it rounded corners. I can make those corners, instead of 40 inches, I can make them 20 inches. I can do all this stuff, right? Now, technically, that's called vector computing. In other words, I can always return, it's the same thing as non-destructive editing. 1, 10, 1, 10, 1. In other words, I can always return to the original piece that I had without undoing. I'm not committed to anything. That's called vector computing. If you remember Photoshop and Illustrator, Photoshop is raster, Illustrator is vector. Now by that I mean, raster means grid. They should call it grid, but raster means grid. It means that you're controlling each pixel in Photoshop. Vector means formula. So if I draw with a circle in Photoshop, I draw a circle, and each cube is black. But if I scale it way up, what do I see? I see it over and up and over and up and over to make. If I draw it with a vector, it's a perfect O. No matter how big I make it, no matter how small I make it, there's no up, over, up, over, up, over. This is vector. And you can see up here in the corner that right now, this cube is, even though it doesn't say it, it's got a cube right there. This cube is a vector object. Look closely at this thing. You have one that's a sphere that only has 4 lines, and then you have another where it has tons of lines. So, you know what, let's get a sphere up, and let's see if I can show you the difference between these two. Sphere. Sorry. This isn't going to be a great example. I thought it was going to be a little easier. The point is that if I have a cube, I can make it editable. Now you notice the moment I made it editable, something happened. First of all, the icon in front of the cube changed. Second of all, I can no longer, this is grayed out, I can no longer select this button. And third of all, prior to searching cube, I couldn't use axes, points, lines, or faces. If I tried to select any of those things, I'm not able to do it. I can change the size, the rotation, all these things through this button over here, but I can't interact with any elements of the piece. Now, that's significant because it turns out that once this turns blue, once it is editable, once the, thanks man, appreciate it. Once that thing is set, then I'm ready to go by picking points. I'm sorry, these are lines, points, faces. I can get in there and put things, which is going to make a big difference because 99% of your work in this program is going to be this way, not with the other vector thing. 99% is going to be raster, not vector. Okay? Okay, now, I know this is a little daunting, but getting this vocabulary together is really important. Because I'm going to mention vector and raster all the time. Because not only, we have a vector object now,